and welcome to CVR News Network. You're watching CVR English World 360 and I'm Sandeep. Let's get to the details. A 53-year-old British man drove a minivan into a crowd of Liverpool Football Club fans celebrating their Premier League title on Water Street, injuring 47 people, including children. Police confirmed the driver acted alone with no links to terrorism. 27 victims were hospitalized, 2 critically, while others were treated at the scene. The incident occurred shortly after the team parade concluded. Authorities continue to investigate the motive behind the attack.
This had been a joyous day in Liverpool, with hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets to celebrate Liverpool Football Club's victory parade. Sadly, at 6 o'clock this evening, as the parade was drawing to a close, we received reports that a car had been in a collision with a number of pedestrians on Water Street in Liverpool city centre. A number of people have been injured and were taken to hospital. In addition, a large number of people of all ages were treated at the scene but did not require hospital treatment. The car stopped at the scene and a 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area was arrested. We believe him to be the driver of the vehicle. What I can tell you is that we believe this to be an isolated incident, and we are not currently looking for anyone else in relation to it. The incident is not being...
Merseyside Police held a press conference regarding a serious incident during Liverpool Football Club's Premier League victory parade. At approximately 6 p.m. BST, a 53-year-old white British man from Liverpool drove grey Ford Galaxy into the crowd of pedestrians on Water Street, injuring 47 individuals, including 4 children. The driver was arrested at the scene, and authorities have confirmed that the incident is not being treated as terrorism.
I want to thank all of the emergency services, partner agencies and members of the public who came to the assistance of the injured following this evening's shocking incidents, which we declared a major incident. This had been a joyous day in Liverpool, with hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets to celebrate Liverpool Football Club's victory parade. Sadly, at 6 o'clock this evening, as the parade was drawing to a close, we received reports that a car had been in a collision with a number of pedestrians on Water Street in Liverpool city centre. A number of people have been injured and were taken to hospital. In addition, a large number of people of all ages were treated at the scene but did not require hospital treatment. Specialist officers have been put in place to support the injured and their families. Our emergency service colleagues from the North West Ambulance Service and Mersey Fire and Rescue Service also attended the scene and will be able to provide further updates. The car stopped at the scene and a 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area was arrested. We believe him to be the driver of the vehicle.
Our emergency ambulances took patients to our NHS colleagues at the Royal Liverpool Hospital, Alderhay, Arrow Park and Aintree hospitals. Sadly, 4 of the injured were children who were enjoying the day with their friends and their families. We can confirm that our teams treated 20 patients at the scene for minor injuries, and these did not need hospital treatment.
I want to thank all of the emergency services, partner...
King Charles III and Queen Camilla arrived in Ottawa for a historic 2-day state visit. This marks the first time a reigning monarch has opened Canada's parliament since Queen Elizabeth II in 1977. The visit underscores Canada's sovereignty amid recent tensions with the US following President Trump's controversial remarks suggesting annexation. King Charles is set to deliver the speech from the throne, outlining Prime Minister Mark Carney's legislative agenda. The King and the Queen have planted a tree at Rideau Hall, the official residence of the Canadian Governor-General, in more than a 100-year-old tradition. While planting a tree near one they planted in 2017, Charles and Camilla were reunited with some of the Canadian women who, as teenagers, travelled from Canada to UK for the coronation of the Queen Elizabeth in 1953. A mass shooting occurred on Memorial Day, May 26th, in Philadelphia's Fairmount Park, resulting in 2 fatalities and 9 injuries, including 3 teenagers aged 15 to 17. The incident took place around 10:30 p.m. near Lemon Hill Drive and Poplar Drive during a large gathering of approximately 200 attendees. Police reported rapid gunfire with victims struck by bullets and 1 individual injured by a vehicle amid the ensuing chaos. All injured individuals are in stable condition. No arrests have been made and authorities have not recovered any weapons. The investigation is ongoing and police are working to determine if multiple firearms were involved.
Overview of what happened. Around 10:27, men and women hear gunshots, and we have officers out here. We have different groups of young people or different groups that are out here. They're moving them out of this process. Around 10:27, they hear several gunshots fired. As a result of that gunfire, we have 11 shooting victims. Of those 11, 8 of them are adults. 2 of those individuals, a male and a female, have been pronounced. The other 8 are in, other 9 are in a stable condition. Of those total 11, 3 of them are juveniles, 15, 16, and 17. And so it's been a challenging day for the men and women throughout the different parts of the city. We had groups of individuals, particularly juveniles. This one a little bit different. We have a blend of adults and juveniles. The men and women were here earlier in the day, saw the activity, were moving those, that they were packing up as this incident unfolded. But unfortunately, the individuals continued to engage in gunfire, even though the officers were in the area. And we have a lot of investigation to do. As you can see, it's a very, very large scene. We'll be here till daylight to be able to capture. We have multiple rounds that were fired. So I'll stop there and see if you have any questions.
Here all day.
Well,
Did you hear anything like that?
Well, listen, I mean, this is a very popular area. I mean, going from 33rd Street all the way through. We're going to get a number of individuals. In most cases, those events go safely with no issue. Folks are out in the park every weekend, As you know, we're dealing with juveniles, whether it be at Broad and CB Moore. This one a different blend because we have a large number of adults involved in the event over here. But it's not uncommon for us to have large groups of individuals surge into the park. We deal with those on a regular basis. But at the same token, when an individual decide, you can see how dark it is up there. It's only lit up there now because of our lights up there. Secreting themselves in the park becomes even a greater challenge to identify who's out there and who may be engaged in negative behavior. Overview of what.
Following US President Donald Trump's recent criticism of Russian President Vladimir Putin, the Kremlin has responded, attributing Trump's remarks to emotional overload. Trump had labeled Putin absolutely crazy after Russia's extensive missile and drone attacks on Ukraine, which resulted in at least 12 deaths and numerous injuries. The Kremlin dismissed these comments, emphasizing the necessity of ongoing peace negotiations and attributing the heightened rhetoric to emotional stress. In a related development, President Putin delivered a significant video message to Russian officials, reaffirming Russia's commitment to its military objectives in Ukraine. He emphasized the importance of continued operations and the necessity of maintaining pressure on Ukrainian forces. The address underscored Russia's stance on the conflict and its determination to achieve its strategic goals.
They're addressing short-term political goals without thinking about the future, without thinking about the real situation for their companies. Now, I already mentioned the case when a Western company built an entire building to manage orders from Russia. Now, light only goes on 2 or 3 floors in that building, and the rest of it is left unused. It's a good thing that they're not very far-sighted. It's bad that they have such a bad attitude to Russia, of course, because it's not a good faith relationship. But I won't go into the political details. It wasn't us who organized the coup in Ukraine. We constantly heard that democracy and the rule of law and elections are paramount, but they staged a coup, a bloody coup at that. And they went full on, tried to conquer the Donbass and killing people with helicopters. They forced us to do what we're now doing. And they're trying to make it look as if it's our fault. And the next step, and it's no coincidence that I said that one of our greatest concerns was software and cybersecurity. They're addressing.
French President Emmanuel Macron denied any domestic dispute with his wife, Brigitte, after images captured by the American news agency during their arrival in Vietnam sparked widespread comments on social media. He explained that he was just joking with his wife. The President and Brigitte Macron arrived in Vietnam for Southeast Asian tour aimed at strengthening France's economic ties and reinforcing its position as a reliable partner amid global tensions. Macron's office downplayed the incident, describing it as a harmless squabble and a moment of decompression before the trip, while noting the presence of fake news targeting Brigitte, including false claims about her gender.
On fait dire à une vidéo beaucoup de bêtises. Sur ces 3 vidéos, j'ai ramassé un Kleenex, serré la main à quelqu'un et juste plaisanté avec mon épouse comme on le fait assez souvent. On fait dire à une vidéo beaucoup de bêtises. Sur ces 3 vidéos, j'ai ramassé un Kleenex, serré la main à quelqu'un et juste plaisanté avec mon épouse comme on le fait assez souvent.
French President Emmanuel Macron paid tribute to those who fought against the French colonial forces during the Indochina War at a Hanoi War Memorial on May 26. This marks his first official visit to Vietnam since taking office in 2017. Macron's visit underscores France's commitment to supporting Vietnam in areas like critical minerals, renewable and nuclear energy, aerospace, and infrastructure development. The two nations share a comprehensive strategic partnership, reflecting France's deepening engagement in the Indo-Pacific. Emmanuel Macron pays tribute in Hanoi to combatants in the Indochina War, which pitted French colonial forces against Vietnamese independence fighters from 1946 to 1954. Macron is in Vietnam for his first official visit to the country. President Gabriel Boric visited the southern Chilean region affected by an F1 tornado on May 26, caused by a cold frontal system. The tornado injured 19 people, damaged around 250 houses, and left over 4,500 residents without electricity. The official meteorological surveillance warned of possible new tornadoes as climate change may increase their frequency.
Our Chile has a surprise for us, an unprecedented tornado that had been classified as Degree 1 that affected Puerto Varas. The moment it happened, around 3:30 in the afternoon, all the state's resources were immediately deployed to support those affected. I also decided to come quickly after the political meeting, because I think it's important to see on the ground the effects of catastrophes like this one, and be able to be with the people, listening firsthand to what happened and what they need. Also, to give support and assurance about what's coming.
Romania's newly elected president, Nicolae Dan, was officially sworn in on Monday, ushering in a tentative close to the worst political crisis to grip the European Union country and decades after the annulment of the previous election. But multiple challenges lie ahead. Romania's newly elected president, Nicolae Dan, was officially sworn in on May 26th, marking a tentative resolution of the country's most severe political crisis in decades. This crisis was triggered by the annulment of the previous presidential election due to the electoral violations and alleged Russian interference. Nicolae Dan, a 55-year-old mathematician and a former mayor of Bucharest, won the May 18th runoff election against the far-right candidate George Simion. His victory was contested by Simion, who claimed the election was illegitimate and planned to request its annulment, citing foreign interference.
Jur să-mi dăruiesc toată puterea și priceperea pentru propășirea spirituală și materială a poporului român, să respect Constituția și legile țării, să apăr democrația drepturile și libertățile fundamentale ale cetățenilor, suveranitatea, independența, unitatea și integritatea teritorială a României. Așa să-mi ajute Dumnezeu. Societatea românească și-a demonstrat ei înseși că este vie și puternică. Statul român are nevoie de o schimbare fundamentală, bineînțeles în limitele statului de drept, și vă invit să continuați să
Quebec Liberal MP Francis Carpellegia was elected the 40th Speaker of the House of Commons, succeeding Greg Fergus. Representing Lac St. Louis since 2004, he is known for advocating environmental sustainability. The election was dramatic, with Conservative contenders withdrawing last minute. His role reduces the Liberal Party's voting strength, leaving them 3 seats short of 172 vote majority, complicating the government's ability to pass legislation and maintaining the control.
Now, my duty to inform the House that it is the member for Lac St. Louis. Honorable members,
Je tiens à exprimer à la Chambre
I beg to return
mes
my
humbles
humble
remerciements.
acknowledgement.
I'd also like to reserve a special mention and thank you for the member of Hull Aylmer, who took the reins of the speakership at a difficult moment. At the end of a mandate, when things tend to get a little feistier, I would remind members that we are at the beginning of a mandate in the selfish hope that you will afford me a little grace period. Once again, thank you for your confidence. I have few words because, well, we all have things we want to accomplish, and we've been away. Thank you, colleagues.
In this House for the first time, I hope you will permit me to thank my constituents in Nepean for the great honor of being a member of this committee. And I'd like to thank Canadians, Mr. Speaker, for the trust that they have put in this government, but in all members of this great House. Hear, hear. Votre élection témoigne
Your
du
election
respect que
shows
vous
the respect
été accordé
that people
par
have
vos
in you
collègues.
here in the House of Commons.
President Donald Trump commemorated Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery, where he honored fallen U.S. service members. During his speech, he paid tribute to their sacrifices, saying that their valor had given the United States the freest, greatest, and the most notable republic ever to exist. He added that it was a republic he was working to fix after what he described as a long and difficult 4 years, referencing challenges he attributed to the previous administration. The ceremony also included a wreath laying at the tomb of the unknown soldier, attended by Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Present! Present! Arms! Order! Right shoulder, arms!
We gather today to honor the incredible service members who rest in glory in this cemetery and burial grounds around the world and in 1,000 lonely places known only to God. In every hour of peril, in every moment of crisis, American warriors have left behind the blessings of home and family to answer their nation's call. Their valor gave us the freest, greatest, and most noble republic ever to exist on the face of the earth, a republic that I am fixing after a long and hard 4 years. That was a hard 4 years we went through. Who would let that happen? People pouring through our borders unchecked, people doing things that are indescribable and not for today to discuss. But the republic that is now doing so very well, we're doing so very well.
U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem visited Israel to express solidarity following the fatal shooting of the 2 Israeli embassy staffers in Washington, D.C. During her visit, she met with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, participated in memorial ceremonies, and emphasized that the U.S. commitment to combating anti-Semitic violence. Noem's trip also included discussions on regional security and a stop in Bahrain, where she engaged with U.S. military personnel.
President Trump extends his greetings and his grief to all of you, and he stands with you as we fight this hatred in the world and know that Yaron and Sarah's lives will be of significance and will matter and will bring a unity among us that will help us defeat our enemies.
And that's the end of the World 360. Stay tuned to CVR News English.